Hi, this is Loan Officer Success Stories brought to you by the Mortgage Sense team. I'm your host, Josh Blair, and today we have DeAnn Ellis. DeAnn, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you joining us today. The reason I wanted to bring DeAnn on is because she is consistently number one with Element Home Loans. She is by far the biggest producer with our company, and I thought there was a ton that we can learn from you. So I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So why don't we just start with the basics? How did you get into the mortgage business?
So right out of high school, I got a job at a local community bank and as a teller, and I loved it. And honestly, the branch manager there, she was like my mentor and asked me, did I see myself having a future at the bank? And one thing led to another. I became a consumer banker at the age of 19.
Wow.
And then I was the assistant branch manager at 21, and then I jumped right into the mortgage piece at that point. So
you've been in the business of what, 5 years then? It sounds like if you were 21. Yeah.
Just 5 years. No, I've been in the business 30 years. So
wow.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's my passion.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Was there a point in your career where you said, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do? Is there something you can point to and say, this is the turning point and where you knew this is where you wanted to spend the next 30 years?
So when I was at the bank, helping customers and helping the local community just come in, I was establishing relationships with them, and they would come in and they would tell me, their stories and how they needed help. I remember specifically this elderly couple that came in and they didn't understand how to, and this is what, kind of led into the whole customer service arena, but they couldn't balance their checkbook. They didn't understand how to balance a checkbook. They didn't understand a car loan. They didn't understand anything. And unfortunately, they didn't have any family to help them. So I would sit down with them every month, balance their checkbook, and they were in the market to purchase a car. And that was back when I was in consumer banking. And I, of course, helped them create, a credit profile and help them get in that car. And I thought, you know what? If I'm making an impact as far as this is concerned, what an impact we could make helping people become homeowners and doing it in a very personal and passionate way. So I started doing home equity lines of credit and 15-year mortgages at the bank, and it just kind of went from there. And I just got a lot of pleasure and just success out of helping from that starting point. And then it just went directly back, into mortgages only.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, because we are truly, and that's one of the things I love about this business is that we truly are helping people with what is likely to be their biggest financial purchase in their life. And, just being able to walk with people and, it's a complicated process and being able to help them. So that's awesome. Great.
Yeah, I love it. It's definitely, God's purpose for my life, if you will. I think that this is, when you do something and that is your calling, and that is, I know what my calling is. So it's kind of cool to just be right in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not everybody has that. I know 40, 50-year-olds that are still trying to figure out what they want to do when they grow up.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about the success that you've had. If you can think back on what you say is your best year, and you don't have to get into specifics as far as numbers, but I'd like for you to talk to us a little bit about what drove that success. What do you think made the difference for your best years?
I really, I tell my team I'm very slow to say no, and everyone has a story. And I do not shy away from the more complicated deals, one that maybe you have to take an extra 2 weeks perhaps to work on their credit or dig deep with employment, income, those sorts of things. I think that our attention to detail and our willingness to go the extra mile has just made my career take off and be extremely successful due to those standards. And everyone on my team, the loan officers, we have the same approach. No one on the team, if they're like, DeAnn, I just don't know if we can get this done. And I, obviously help jump in and help structure the loan. So I think that any loan officer, if they have the mindset of, hey, listen, everyone has a story. You're not going to just do all 700 credit score to 20% down loans. You're going to take the loans that maybe have a 580 credit score that, needs to get a gift for a down payment. You just decide that you're going to jump all in and be very slow to say no. And I think once anyone comes to that realization, their career goes to the next level. And never, ever, ever focus on the amount of closings that you have and the money that comes along with it. Always focus on the customer first, and then the success will come after.
That's great advice. Thank you. Thank you for, clearly stating that, because I think, there's an opportunity to get into this because the money is good. It's a stressful role, but the money is good. But if you're focused truly on the money, then, you're not going to take care of your customers.
Right. And it becomes about you. And of course we work to make money and to be successful.
Yeah, sure.
But if you focus on that, it really is not focusing on that person and getting them in the home for them and their family, because it is the biggest purchase they'll ever make. Mm-hmm. It is extremely, it's stressful. It's emotional. Mm-hmm. And if you put yourself in their situation and you just focus on them, the success will come.
That's awesome. So can you you mentioned your team. You have a fairly sizable team. Can you talk to us a little bit about what setup you have around you?
Yes. So I have 2 assistants and I have 3 full-time loan officers. I have 2 full-time processors, and then I have a business development manager. And she primarily helps me with the builder division and the marketing and those sorts of things. And the management as far as pipeline reporting, those sorts of things, because obviously working with builders, there's a lot of reports. Mm-hmm. One of my assistants is my daughter, my oldest daughter, and she just got licensed. So she's going to be getting more into the originating platform. She just got her first mortgage this week. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So, and I've had that structure set up, pretty much for the past, 13 years, 14 years. I've always had a team, but it being specifically structured with specific roles, about 13 years.
Okay. What I love is this. We were talking before we got started. You're the 3rd interview doing for this channel. And I don't think I realized until just this moment. The first one was my dad. So I work with Kevin, who is my father. I spoke with Brad Roach, who works with both of his sons, and you work with your daughter. It's a great family business. I love it.
And my sister runs my team.
Really?
Yeah. So she's been working for me for 23 years. And so she runs my team. And then my daughter's been with me for 6 years now. And I made her get her feet wet, said, you're going to start at the very bottom. You are going to start and you are going to learn every single thing before you're going to become a loan officer. And that's what she did. It's amazing.
That's exactly what happened with me. So I was thrown in, as a junior processor just to learn the basics. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were speaking, as you're speaking to your daughter who just got licensed, who's just starting on the origination side, what's the best piece of advice that you would give her or that you have given her?
Well, I think that she sees how I work and my structure and how passionate I am about my job, and that everyone is important and that we should just do everything we can to help that client and to focus on the end results, which is to get that customer in the home that they want, that they can afford successfully and as smoothly as possible. And to just focus on that, and then success will come. And, I see that, her demonstrating that, even being an assistant. Not too long ago on a Saturday, I heard her in there on the phone. And you know, she does like my pre-quals and stuff like that, gets all the information, downloads the loan apps and stuff. And I heard her speaking to a customer on a Saturday, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, okay, well, she works, 9 to 5, but she's on the phone on a Saturday helping a client get their loan application pushed through. And I thought, okay, she gets it now. It's important to those customers to do it, on their time off. And she's not what she was doing. So anyway, I think that her dedication and her willingness to help and learn.
And to care.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So shifting gears just a little bit, how long have you been with Element Home Loans?
I've been with Element 14 years.
14 years.
This year will be 14, yes.
So, what's amazing is I find with our company, people stick around. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why have you stuck around with Element Home Loans?
Well, I'm not, I've been, like I said, been in the business 30 years. And I have been on the broker side. I've owned my own broker shop. I've been a banker. I've been correspondent, all of those things. And I know what's important, because here's the thing. You can do everything right. You can go out, beat the streets, make the phone ring. But if your ops partners are not phenomenal, you will not be successful. And here at Element, I know that, first of all, I could pick the phone up and call any of the partners right now. Mm-hmm. I could get them on the phone. I can text them, whatever. I can get the head risk director on the line if I need to, my underwriters. We just all have the same mentality as to, we are here to help people get into homes. And our operations is by far the best team that I've ever worked with. And I can say that hands down. So you're only as good as your processor. Sales can't do it without ops. And let's face it, ops can't do it without sales. So if you don't have that good team and you don't have all the tools, you're just not going to take your career to the next level.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing from you, I think is the theme for this conversation, is it's about the team around you, mm-hmm. and making sure that everybody cares the same amount and everybody is there to not just make money, but to do a good job. Is that fair?
Yeah. And rowing in the same direction. We're not fighting, we're not fighting. It's not,
me against the underwriter.
Yeah, no, it's, hey, listen, how can we make this deal work? Let's work together. If there's hurdles that we need to jump through, okay, then there's hurdles, because everybody has a story, right? So, right. I've just had that at Element, and, let's face it, I get a lot of, headhunters calling, wanting to talk, and I really don't even talk to them. I'm like, thanks for calling, but I'm not really interested. People can say, oh, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, come on over to our company. Well, listen, we're a proven success, and we could not do the loans that we do without the proper structure. And that's what we have.
I think that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop moment right there. So we're gonna call it. DeAnn, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. I'd love to have you on again at another point, and we can maybe continue the conversation. So those of you watching, if you like this information, be sure to share, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to bring you the top people in our industry and how to be successful as a loan officer. DeAnn, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you.